second phase is about first contact. So from a cheetah's point of view, it's chasing this animal and it's jinking all over the place and it's getting closer and closer. But at some point it has to make first contact. Now if the animal it's chasing is a gazelle, that gazelle has sharp hooves. Those sharp hooves could injure the cheetah so that it can't hunt for days. Cheetahs really need to hunt. Males not every day, but females, if they've got kits, really need to hunt every day. This is why female cheetahs are much better hunters, because they have to hunt more often. They're more successful. But as the cheetah gets closer, the danger of getting hurt gets greater. Some archers get what's called target panic. And I was talking to someone who's been doing archery for a lot longer than I have. And some people use 3 fingers underneath, like this. And they draw to just under the eye. And she said that a lot of them who do this end up with target panic. And the reason for it is because at some point the string breaks or the bow breaks. The arrow comes back and hits them in the face. So there is this fear created on first contact. And when they draw on the bow back, they become increasingly fearful that they're going to hit their face again. So they let go of the arrow long before they get to their anchor point on their face. I should have less of this problem because I draw past my ear. So if the bow breaks, it's going to hit us on the top of the head, not on my body. And the arrow is just going to go back. So hopefully safer. But the point is that it's this first contact, making contact, and the dangers around making contact. It's like this fly is bothering us at the moment. So first contact is an uncertain time. We don't know whether it's safe. We don't know whether what we're making contact with could kill us. So from an amoeba's point of view, it's finding what it hopes is food. But when it isn't going to know whether it's food until it makes first contact. It could be another amoeba who's bigger than it and more hungry, in which case our amoeba becomes food. So the first stage has to be assessment of risk on first contact. So when we see something we've never seen before, we're making first contact. We don't know whether it's safe. We don't know whether it will hurt us. So we're cautious. So if I'd never picked up a bow and arrow before, firstly I wouldn't know how to nock an arrow. But then when I start drawing it back, I don't know whether the arrow is going to stay where it is. I don't know whether it's going to come off. I don't know whether the bow is going to break. I don't know whether the string is going to break. So I'm cautious. Is it safe? Is it safe? You can see why people who draw to under their eye become tentative, become fearful, and let go too early rather than take that risk. Memory is telling them and interfering. A learned behaviour is being created by an experience. So they become reluctant to take the risk. So for the cheetah, it has to set up making contact with its prey in the right way. It's behind it and it's timing where the feet are. Are they forward? Are they back? If the animal has just taken a large step, its legs have come behind it. If the cheetah makes contact at that point, the animal has to draw them forwards before it can kick it. In that time, the cheetah has put its claws in, pulled it towards it, and put its body weight on top of the rear legs to push it down. First contact made successfully, hasn't been injured, and then it draws it towards it. It has to be safe for it to do this. So the amoeba only has a membrane that it extends to pull its food in. But as it's pulling it in, it has to know, is it safe? And that's the question. First time we make contact with anything, is it safe? Reminds me of the lines from the film The Marathon Man, Dustin Hoffman. He's having his teeth drilled out by Larry, Sir Lawrence of Arabia. And Lawrence is going, is it safe? Is it safe? Dustin is screaming. So if it is safe, the amoeba draws the food towards it. So the membrane is starting to close, and this is the function of the lung meridian. The lung meridian is the area where the external world comes inside of us, because we're breathing the inside, breathing the outside inside. So this is first contact, and the assessment is this is the clue. If it's not safe, we cough. Get some arrows. So it's not surprising in Oriental medicine that the meridians which relate to first contact also relate to coughing, and that the meridian can be used to treat coughing. And the way to think of this is that the meridians of this phase run on the inside of the arm. So we reach out, make first contact, and then draw it towards us. So this is the movement of the second phase. So the lung meridian, which runs from here down this aspect of the thumb, treats asthma, coughing, bronchial infections, and so on. The pericardium, or heart protector, runs along the inside, along the center of the arm. And we make first contact here with the middle finger. Then there's a really big point here, which calms the mind. That's what it's one of its main and most powerful functions. If you're agitated, this point calms you. So we're agitated because we're about to touch something new. We assess that it's safe. So this point, when we make contact with it, tells us to relax, safe. But if it's not safe, how does an amoeba get rid of something it doesn't want? It creates a cough. And because it's got this membrane which it's surrounded the fruit with, it squeezes the membrane, it pushes the fruit away. That's a cough. The heart protector meridian also deals with coughing, but the meridian and the effect gets more intense the closer you come to the body. So it starts here, coughing, coughing, strong infection, coughing, a little bit of blood, a lot of blood when you cough. So the closer the threat comes to us, the more effective the meridian is closer to the body. The heart is about trust, not about love. Love is what we call it because we bond with another person and we care for that person. But it's trust. The second phase also has to do with what's called Stockholm Syndrome. And for those of you who don't know Stockholm Syndrome, there was a bank raid in Stockholm, or a village just outside of Stockholm, a town. But it went wrong and the bank robbers, or would-be bank robbers, ended up taking the staff as hostages. And after the raid was finished and the people who were taken hostage were talked to by the police, other people, they realised that these people empathised with the bank robbers, with their plight. Why would anyone care about the person who's kidnapped them or held them hostage? Well, the bonding mechanism works simply. It's the way we bond with our wives, our children, our family, our pets, our car, our job, with an arrow, with a bow, with an activity, really archery. We bond with it because we're empathetic. Humans are empathetic creatures, so we bond. The bond is strengthened and quickened. It's made quicker to have its effect on us if circumstances are where there is a very high degree of emotion. In the case of Stockholm Syndrome, the threat was from the would-be bank robbers. So if a bank robber has had you sit in a corner for a few hours and he's got a gun in his hand and he walks towards you and he looks mean, you're thinking, oops, I'm going to die. Nothing good's going to happen at this point. So then he comes up and says, you need to go to the toilet. Do you need something to eat? Do you need something to drink? And you feel relief. We have children when they're very, very small, babes and all, and they're crying. We don't know why they're crying. And for hours they've cried and cried and cried. And then eventually they burp and they laugh. We go from our fears and worries for that child to relief, to joy. And because of that, the bond between you and the child grows stronger. Between the bank robber and the hostage grows stronger when there is high tension and then relief. So this is what the bonding mechanism does, and the bonding mechanism is the function of the second phase. We have the cheetah has the anxiety of making first contact and then drawing it towards it if it's safe. But also, what happens if once it's killed it and a lion comes up and tries to take it off it? First response is to protect what is yours. Of course, cheetahs learn that lions are not to be messed with, and they won't like giving up their prey, but they will do.